The many buttered layers of phyllo dough, walnut filling, and sweet syrup make baklava, a rich dish that's generally reserved for special occasions in Greece. So now we're going to make the walnut filling for our baklava. 4 cups of fresh walnuts. And look at these perfect halves of walnuts, just so beautiful. And I hate nuts that are old or spoiled. And they do turn rancid if they get too hot. And now I chop these a little bit to start by pulsing. Then I add my sugar, a 1/2 cup of sugar, and I can just feed the sugar down the tube while pulsing. And then 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon. And that's it. Very, very easy. There's still some texture left, which you want, but you don't want to grind these into a paste. You want to be very careful that they are chopped, not ground. Now for our baklava, we must make a syrup. In a medium saucepan, bring to a boil 1 cup of water and 1¼ cups of granulated sugar. Measure out 1/2 cup of honey. Boil this a little bit for 3 to 5 minutes until it starts to thicken. We're just making a sugar syrup first. Once it's removed from the heat, you add your honey. Honey is best unheated. Heating it, cooking it, really just destroys a lot of the nutritional value of honey. And it's not put into the baklava until after it comes out of the oven. So just remove this from the heat, add your honey, and set aside. So now we're going to assemble our baklava. We're using a 12-inch by 2-inch round cake pan. This makes a very impressive looking baklava. Brush the pan with clarified butter. Now you can use clarified or just melted, slightly cooled butter all the way around. A soft bristle brush really works the best. So there. Now here's our phyllo. You can roll it right out on your board. You'll really need for this recipe 28 sheets of phyllo. We are going to trim the phyllo so it fits in the round pan. And I found a pot top that is just slightly larger than the pan, and I'm going to cut our phyllo into circles. So using the point of a very sharp knife, just cut all the way around and through your phyllo. And here we have our phyllo. And we're going to layer in our pan sheet by sheet. And every sheet gets buttered. 7 sheets to start. And don't cheat. I know some people who, when they're making phyllo desserts, try to get away with 2 layers of phyllo with 1 layer of butter, but it's really better to not cheat and do it in between each layer. Historically, in Greece, olive oil was used where milk was a little scarce and olive oil plentiful. Many home cooks would use olive oil. Now there's 7 layers. Sprinkle 1/3 of your nut mixture over your buttered phyllo layers and go all the way to the edge. You want every piece of the final baklava to have 3 layers of nuts and 4 layers of phyllo. And now start layering again. 7 more buttered sheets. And our final layer. Very rewarding experience, layering phyllo. And don't get nervous. You need to tuck or add another little repair piece. That's fine. So now make sure that your oven is preheated to 375 degrees. And now, scoring the top. You want to score through the top layer and use that same sharp blade. The sharper, the better. Very thin blade is good. And we have a template for getting this beautiful kind of snowflake design. But you can make up a design too. So first, score into 8 equal wedges. Going through the top layer of phyllo first. We're going to then rescore to the very bottom so that we can get the phyllo out into serving pieces. Now, choose a quarter 2 wedges, and we want to divide this equally into 3. 1, 2, and then 3. Notice I'm matching the points. And now do it again. So fun working with geometry in the kitchen. See how these are now into triangles? Now we have to get these strips into triangles. So we start here and we cut down into 1-inch strips. You're going to be left with some small pieces, but don't worry. So you're looking for diamond-shaped pieces of phyllo. And I think this is our last cut. And there you have a very beautiful design. Now, just cut on your original lines all the way to the bottom of the pan, on every line. This takes a little time, a little patience, but it is definitely worth it at serving time because you're going to be able to get all your pieces out of the pan. Bake in a 375-degree oven until the phyllo is dark golden brown, 35 to 40 minutes. Now our baklava is hot right out of the oven. I have it resting on a rack. It looks beautiful, but it's going to look even more beautiful when you pour the cooled honey sugar syrup all over the top. This gives it a shine and an unequaled flavor. This will last at room temperature for up to 2 days. This is a spectacular dessert and well worth the effort.